It's time. I got lost reading chat, and my clock counted down to 0, and I like, what's that noise? Oh, it's time to go. Welcome everyone to another Friday live stream here on YouTube. Let's see who's here early on and on time. Postec TV was here early. Matthew Walter early. Drive was here early. Wiz was here early. Vomiting all over the chat with the emojis. Got to be careful with that. Trucker Kitty, of course, is here. Lobo1G is here. John Whitesall, aka Trucker John, is here. MKA Transportation is here. Carlin is here. Nightbot is here, so watch your P's and Q's. Turn off that caps lock key and don't spit out too many emojis, Wiz, or Nightbot will get you. Lowrider is here. Greg Ulray is here. Excuse me. Phantom 6767 is here. Good. I don't have to ask if you're still here because I know you're gimping, or you were yesterday. I don't know if how you doing today. I don't want to press you to type too much since you've been your typing hand is not working too well. Let's see. Thomas Berger is here. Matthew Roth is here. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to start with some shout outs quick before we get rolling. I'll tell you what's up and what's going on. Let me check something quick. Yep. Okay. Isabella Hagloff, Rob Strecker, aka Lurch, is not here in the Discord with me today to read your chat. He is doing the dad taxi thing. Bedrock, our top ATS driver for February 2023. Bill Welburn, Nicholas Triple XN. By the way, I got to post something in the Discord. Little wait, we'll be the same. So you're still kind of out of commission with your right hand? Still the same. Okay. Yeah, I need to post something in the Discord to let everybody in the VTC know who's waiting on a skin. Nicholas needs to take a little time off from working on skins after putting in so much time with creating, redoing all of the truck skins for American Truck Simulator. He needs to take a little break, but I'll go into a little bit more detail on that in the Discord. Susan Arthur, our top Euro truck driver for August 2025. Captain Minnesota, Trucker Kitty, Norwegian Trucker Nicholas, Big Al 2424, our top ATS driver for March 2025, and our top ATS driver for 2023. Tasmified, Johnny Hansen. Taz, are you here today? Can't see the chat because I got an ad that popped up over the chat. There we go. Yeah, Taz posted something in the Discord that I found very interesting today. Lobo1G, our top Euro truck driver for July 2025. Pugwash, our top Euro truck driver for April 2024. Phantom 6767, our top Euro truck driver for October 2024. Wim55, our top ATS driver for March 2024. Carlin Torasev Ice Bear, our top Euro truck driver for August 2023. FTG Mike B. David Long, aka Shorty, our top Euro truck driver for September 2024. There's Nicholas. Okay, so let me get off into the what's up, where are we going, all that stuff. So I'm in Gillette, Wyoming. Now I'm going to take a load from Wyoming as part of the ATS All Stage Challenge. I don't know what leg this is or anything, but I'm pretty far into it, over halfway through the challenge. Unlike the All Europe Challenge, where I didn't even finish on time. I did finish, but not on time. So this time I'm going to finish, well, my plan is to finish early, so I don't have to be thinking about it. So, I think in the last one that I did, I may have gone from Nebraska to Montana or something. I don't even remember anymore. So I've run around several states, and now, in fact, let me just zoom out a little. I guess that's as far out as I can go. So, see if I can get a different map this way. So, let's see. Las Vegas to Nebraska, Nebraska to Montana, Montana to Missouri, Missouri to, I already forgot. What's after Missouri? Oh, don't I have it in somewhere? Oh, Kansas. Kansas to Iowa. Iowa to Idaho. That's what I did, I think. Idaho to Colorado. Doing this from memory. Colorado to California. California to Arkansas. Arkansas to Arizona. Arizona to Wyoming. And now Wyoming to Washington. So I do have a load that is 1,180 miles long from Gillette, Wyoming to Everett, Washington. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to drive across Montana, the Idaho Panhandle, and then pretty much all the way across Washington, at least 3/4 of the way across. So let's get going. Or let me get back in the truck anyway. So we're here at the Kuhn-Nagel depot, I guess. That's what SCS calls these. Oh, by the way, I'm driving my Peterbilt 359 today because this is the truck of the week for the Trucky achievement. I don't actually assume I'm going to do all of the runs. I think there's 20 for this in the Trucky achievement, but I'm going to do a bunch. Actually, I think I turned my volume down because I was in the Discord while I was driving, talking to someone, and I turned my volume down so I could hear whoever I was talking to. Is probably Wiz or Pugwash. All right, that might be a little too loud. I'll tell you what, I can turn down my headset a little bit. So I guess the question is, how does it sound to you guys? I did make it a point to use a dry van trailer with our new custom VTC skin on it by Nicholas. Okay, good. First time you see me driving a Peterbilt? Okay. You know, I've got over 14,000 miles on this thing, and that's just this one. I've also got one in my convoy profile. I don't remember which engine I'm using on this one. Now I do have a fresh clock and a full tank of fuel. And I have my... Oops, get there. I have my first stop mapped out. By the way, Wiz, was helping Wiz set up his manual shifting setup for his profile yesterday. in American Truck Simulator. And Wiz, I realized after I got back into my own options, I misquoted something. I want to get with you later on to fix. Okay. Oh yeah, traffic light. I can do some shout outs. JJ Man, 1982. Omega Trucking, our top ATS driver for January 2024. Oh, yeah, John. I forgot you got your eye tracker. Was it the Toby, right? It really enhances the game. I was doing something in the game yesterday. I don't remember if it was American Truck or Euro Truck, and I didn't have my hat on with my clip-on thing for the head tracker. And I had to use the mouse to look around, and I'm like, hate this. Oh, I know what it was. I was watching Wiz while he was driving, and he doesn't have head tracking, and he has to use the mouse. And it took me back to when I used to drive without head tracking, and oh my god. So glad I have head tracking. Yeah, works with Farm Sim too. I mean, Farm Sim as well. And I don't know about the Toby, but this one is supposed to work with a few other sims. Well, no, a lot. There's a big list. I haven't tried it. Like, I have Arma, but I haven't fired up Arma in a couple of years. In fact, I haven't fired up Arma since before I got my Track IR head tracking. So I haven't tested it. I think I want to, though. Now, this is not a World of Trucks load, so I can drive 70. Except around some curves. Oh, it doesn't work with Roadcraft and SnowRunner, huh? And I don't remember if it worked with Alaskan Road Trucker. I only fired that up a couple of times, and I don't remember if it worked or not. I live streamed it once. Not impressed with that. Although they've had updates since the last time I was in it. Just love driving here in Wyoming and Montana. So this is Sheridan. Now, I didn't truck through this area too many times, mostly because if I was going east, well, mostly I was going eastbound. From like Pacific Northwest to somewhere back east, usually like Wisconsin. I think I only went this way, well, opposite direction way I'm traveling now, a couple of times. Most of the time, I would take the bypass on U.S. Highway. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember. We'll see the cutoff here in Montana. But if you know the road I'm talking about, shout it out. On Monday, I'm picking up a sticker with my name on it. Woo! To put on the doors of my truck. Nice. May not have an accident. Oh, that was it. Ah! Well, there goes my 5-star rating. Of course, with this load, I'm not going to get 5 stars anyway. Still. Oops. .212, that's the name of that highway. 212, U.S. Highway 212. The turnoff for it is in Montana, just north of the state line. In fact, it's right at the exit to go to the monument, memorial thing for the Battle of Little Bighorn. That's the turnoff for it, and then that road, U.S. Highway 212, goes east, and I would take that all the way to Belle Fourche, South Dakota. Nice quiet drive, hardly any cell phone coverage at the time I was driving it. Of course, I had AT&T at that time. Coverage was not that good. I did have to switch to Verizon. Yeah, this guy's getting on my nerves. Watch him speed up. Well, Nicholas, you'll have to take some pictures of that and share it in Discord in the Trucking EU screenshot or whatever, the pictures. The cars in the mirror look wider than they are. I am using the True Mirrors FOV mod, which actually magnifies things a little bit. I don't use it because of the cars. I use it so I can see the back of my trailer better. So that's one of the mods, and it's listed down in the description below. Well, John, that's the first time I've ever actually missed it. That's because I'm reading the chat myself. I blame Lurch. Yeah, Nicholas. That channel. Can't believe I haven't been to that truck stop yet in this profile. Sorry, dude. Sightseeing here. Like I said, I always enjoy driving across Montana, except in the wintertime. And I did get stuck doing that a few times when I was a company driver. And I didn't get to pick my route. Seems to me as a low time company driver, I got stuck doing this route and Interstate 80 across Wyoming in the wintertime a lot. Later, when I was with Schneider and I was picking my own loads, I would try to find loads that brought me across Montana in the warmer months. then I would try to stay to the lower third of the U.S. in the winter months, and the upper third or upper half in the summer months. Let's see if I get pulled into this one. Yay, I get the bypass. Andrew Black is here. Welcome. Always worry about doing that when there's somebody in front of me. This guy's driving slow. Nick. Welcome, Nick. Reefer hauler for 33 months. Glad you made it. Adam Buser is here, back from work, he says. So Pong, hope I pronounced that right. Welcome to the stream. First time watching. Looks really fun, and the scenery is beautiful too. The scenery is awesome. I love Montana. That's where I am right now, driving across Montana, if you just got here. And of course, in American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator, it is perpetually summer. Except for a few rare occasions. Oh, Adam's there too. Hello, Andre. Welcome to the stream. I would too, John. The only thing we get without mods is rain. Sunny, cloudy sky. I mean, they're making improvements, but we do get rain and clouds like we have now. Clouds, anyway. Otherwise, you got to use mods. Yeah, I've added tire chains through a mod, like when I go up to Alaska. I don't know if they're effective or not. Hey, Vigner. I do have a cat. That's Trucker Kitty. Because when I was a real life truck driver, I had my kitty with me. He rode with me all over the country for years. Welcome to Montana. There's Shorty. Yep, Frosty mods. He's got the other 3 seasons. That's right. Trucker Kitty is monitoring the chat. And he's critiquing my driving. I don't remember where I dropped the pin for my rest break. Not for the night. I think I'm going to check that as soon as I get through this curve. Ooh. Oh yeah, Belgrade. Belgrade's not modeled in the game, but that's where that truck stop is, Belgrade, I'm pretty sure. Just before Missoula. Okay, doke. Let me drop a pin before that so I don't forget. I may not see it from the highway. Oh, and I forgot to look to see how far away it was. 2.5 hours. Should have plenty of time. Yep. Plenty of time. Hello. Hey, Drive. Thank you for the tip. I was just thinking, well, earlier I was thinking, because that one from Pugwash has been up there for weeks, and he hasn't been able to clear it because he's having some problems with PayPal or something. But anyway, but thank you for both clearing that and for supporting the channel and everything else you do for the community. For those that don't know, Drive is our convoy manager, and he works with other people in our convoy area to, when he's not working, because he's got a real job moving trailers. And he helps set up convoys and other things. I remember this pass, this summit. Both directions. Climbing up it. You know, and all the times that I drove here in Montana, I only went up that road one time, and I think that was because there was a road closure and I had to go up, turn around, a detour basically, go up, turn around, and come back down and take the other ramp to continue east or west, I forget which. I never went to Helena or anywhere else in northern Montana, at least not as a trucker. Yep, gotta stop at this one. Oh, I didn't tell you what I was hauling. I've got over 30,000 pounds of toys. I don't think I ever hauled a load in real life. I don't think I ever hauled a load listed as toys. But I did haul a load. I picked it up in, I think, Modesto, California, that was listed as games. Could have been toys too, but it was listed as games, which implies board games, puzzles, things like that. It was a nice light load. Mikey Doucette is here. Welcome to the stream, Mikey. Yeah, John, I noticed that too. You look on your job report. If you click on the link to your job report, you can go and look at the detail of why you're not. I believe you just don't have the settings set up correctly for your game. So when you can either go directly to the Trucky website, or you can click on the job number, the job report number link. It will open up that job, and you can look at the detail. Faye, welcome to the stream. Do truckers get paid by the delivery or the distance? Well, yes, but it depends. If you're a company driver, you get paid by the mile. So they have a rate that they're getting paid by the mile. Let's just say, 50 cents a mile, for instance. And if you've got 1,000 miles, what is that? $500? Had coffee. And thank you, John, for the coffees. I can't math at the moment, but I think that's $500 for a particular load. But that's just an example of easy math. So, but when you're an owner-operator, you get paid by the load, and it depends. Each load is different, and they're frequently the rate is typically tied to the mileage. But you may get a load that goes across the country that pays $3,000, and then if you want, you can do the math to figure out how much is that per mile. All right, we're coming up on the exit. So both are correct. It just depends on what kind of a driver you are. Company driver paid by the mile, or an independent paid by the job, and you're selecting those. Choosing what makes sense to you. I always enjoyed stopping at this truck stop, as well as several others in Minnesota or Montana, because this is a franchise. It's not a company-owned Flying J, Pilot Flying J, and they always had this roasted chicken. I can't resist roasted or fried chicken. And roasted is basically just fried chicken, except it's in a pressure cooker. Yeah, I would. If I was able to I don't need fuel. If I was able to stop here for my 30-minute break and grab some lunch, I'd go in and get some roasted chicken. Because it was good. Wasn't good for me, but it was good. I have no idea if I'm straight or not. Or parallel with the other trucks, I should say. Since there's no lines on the pavement. Oh, and I see now Vigner actually answered that phase question. Well done, Vigner. I'm doing well, Mikey. Thank you. There we go. Trying to focus on parking. All right, this is not World of Trucks, so I need to, before I sleep, I need to gauge. I got 43 hours. You know what? It's late in the day. I'm not gonna fast forward the time at all. I'm just gonna sleep. And it'll be early in the morning, 5:41 a.m. Nice. Let me look at the map and see. We have about 10 hours driving remaining. We can do this the rest of this trip in one day. So from east of Missoula all the way to Everett. All right, I'm going to leave it in here while I catch up on chat. See. Did I miss that John is checking now? Oh, yeah, checking his settings or the report. EU, they get paid by the day, or like me, by the hour. Yeah, and that's a good point. Actually, if you're a local driver, like day cab drivers doing local stuff around town, that's an hourly rate. And even some other long haul, if they go out and back in one day, I think they're paid by the hour. So it really depends. What kind of a driver are you? Got any horror stories? Oh, yeah. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Maybe one will pop in. But, you know, there's been accidents and things that you see out on the road in the normal course of life. If you spend enough time on the road, you'll see bad stuff. Yeah, trucker lifestyle, good, but not good for you. Right, exactly. Let's see. Adam says I-15 in Montana connects Alberta. Or would be 15 here. Alberta 4 towards Lethbridge. Alberta 3 west to. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any of that on here. Okay, so we are going to pick up. I'm going to do a few shout outs first. Nick, David H74, RD04 Dave, our top ATS driver for March 2023. Troken, Douglas Williams. Where's Willie? I haven't seen Willie yet. JC Drives, our top Euro truck driver for March 2025. If you didn't see JC Drives one-on-one convoy with me last weekend, I think it was, or the weekend before, check that out. Thomas Berger, Doom 3, Matthew Roth, Lee01 Mr., Tazzy 291, Jennifer Roth, Pancake Man, Ken Beard, Bruce A, Grumpy Gruntpaw Gaming. I'll leave it there. Let's get rolling. But yeah, release the brake. Now I'm going to go out the back way because I want to pick up that little section of gray road. And this is pretty much exactly how this truck stop looks, including that light pole right there, or whatever it is, power pole, light pole, power pole. They do a very good job of recreating these in ATS. I remember one time one of the other drivers that I follow on Twitter. I don't think I've seen anything from her on Twitter in a long time. She was a truck driver. She used to ride with her dog, just the two of them. And remember one time she posted a couple of pictures from this truck stop, and she had either stopped for a break or stopped for the night. And she and the dog had taken a walk out over that trestle bridge over there, or down to the river, I forget which. And I saw the pictures and I'm like, oh, I recognize that truck stop. Yeah, there's a lot of truck drivers on Twitter, X, that post photos of what they're doing out on the road. I did that a few times. Matthew says, I was just about to remind you to do more shout-outs. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a little forgetful at times, but I remembered. Faye says, personally, I don't turn on the radio when I drive. Oh, if I don't turn on the radio when I drive, I go crazy. Well, every once in a while I would listen to the radio, but most of the time I would listen to podcasts or audiobooks. So there were a handful of podcasts that I would listen to. But I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I'm really into history. And so I listen to a lot of audiobooks about historical things. Things that I just didn't have time to read in a real book. Some of these audiobooks were 50, 60 or more hours long. That's how big they were. They were like textbooks almost. And I listen to those because I love history. And the miles would just melt away. In fact, I'll come back to that in a second. Let's see. All right, hold on. I can't read the chat. I fell behind again. The hardware settings, I think I went too fast a couple of times. Unless you were going too fast through, if you meant driving too fast, that's not the problem. It could be the problem, but you'd have to drive really fast, like get race miles. And I've never seen you do race miles. At least I don't recall. So go to the hardcore, the hardcore page on the Trucky website. We have a link to that in Discord under the BTC information, I think. And if you need the link to the web page, go through that. There's several things you got to set. Otherwise, I can get with you later and we can walk through it. Let's see. Mikey says, oh, these ads are just driving me nuts. I have my tablet here and the ads will pop up and cover the chat while I'm trying to read it. Mikey says, I'm thinking of doing NASCAR and Star Trek games for my YouTube channel, and I'm wondering what your opinion is. I would say do one or the other. One of the most important things is to niche down. You can have a gaming channel and I have a gaming channel, which I'm not currently doing. I plan on putting up not trucking content, but other types of games like Farming Simulator and a few other things that I have in mind. But that's a gaming channel. Those are both games, and you can do that. The problem is one is racing and one is sci-fi. They're not even in the same genre. So you can do it, but I think if you're trying to grow an audience, you'll have better success if you stick with one thing. Wait, so modern trucks have Bluetooth and Android Auto? Bluetooth, yes. I don't know about Android Auto. I don't know what that is. I have an iPhone, so modern trucks have had Bluetooth for quite a while, probably 10 years. Podcasts sound like a great idea. They were. I mean, I got to keep up with current stuff that was relevant to me, except for the history podcasts that were old stuff by definition. Chris Achi. Okay, you missed me, but you haven't missed me because you're here. Welcome to the stream. Glad you made it. Me up the wall. What's the biggest lesson the road has taught you in real life? Wow, I got to think on that one for a bit. Faye says, "Hey, Mr. Boomer, I hope you get to play Death Stranding. It's a game where you play as a porter carrying cargo across the country. I've never even heard of that." Yeah, I'm into driving and farming type games. All right, back to driving. I like flying. I haven't done flight sim in a long time. I like some first-person shooters. I like Arma, Squad, but none of those I'll do on this channel. If you'd like to, I don't really have much content over there, but my other channel, Boomer Gamer Sims, there's a link to it, and it should be a link in the description below. I did start a farm sim series, but I'm not going to continue it because I'm not on that map anymore, and I just don't have time to do it. I need to focus on doing content for this channel. But I'm going to. He says repeatedly for the last year. That's a good one, MKA Transportation. Patience. Yeah. I had to learn to be a better driver, a more patient driver. I had to learn, or I did learn, to be more conscientious. I learned not to be competitive out on the road because it's not a race, especially in a big old truck. I would be more inclined to yield to other drivers after I had been driving for a while. I had to be the better driver. And that's what professional truckers do. They have to be the better driver. Because if you're impatient, reckless, when you got 80,000 pounds under your control and you get reckless or impatient, you can cause accidents and kill people. There's been some of that in the news lately this year. And it's not okay. So I had to learn, I had to really restrain myself a little bit. Okay, we got to get in the left lane for this. When I was younger, I was always driving fast. And I had to learn patience as a trucker. Because one of the key phrases or keywords to think about is arrive alive. And don't kill anybody along the way. Because I recognize that if I did something reckless and I caused somebody else's death, I couldn't bear that. Yeah, better late than sorry. Absolutely. Yeah, there's always some boneheads. Sometimes it was me, and I tried to, when I recognized that, I realized I needed to take steps to not be the bonehead. Make better decisions. I also learned an awful lot about people out on the road, you know, people in their cars. People change when they get behind the wheel of a vehicle. Crazy. Oops, I shifted too soon. Climbing up to the summit here. This summit is the state line that separates Montana from Idaho. I cannot even see what just happened. I assume that Captain Minnesota just put out a thing saying how long he's been a member. Yeah, patience also on hills like this. I needed to recognize, first of all, going up with a heavy load, that I was not going to get anywhere fast, and I needed to just come to terms with that. Same thing going down the other side. If I have a heavy load, I need to watch my speed. Because you can lose control. By the way, we had the SES had a new blog article today with a video. I haven't watched it yet. I will when I get a chance. But it's a gameplay preview of the new Nordic Horizons DLC. And I mentioned earlier that Nicholas needs to take a little break from working on custom skins. One of the reasons is he's a full-time driver traveling Nordic Horizons in real life, because he's a truck driver in Norway. And so he's got a full-time job. Every once in a while he'll share a picture or pictures or video in a channel we have set aside for that. from his real life trucking, and it's pretty impressive. Reading chat and look up and see that truck in front of you stopping. And yes, Captain Minnesota is here. Welcome. Let me catch up on chat. Bear with me a second while I catch up on this, because I fell way behind. Let's see, Faye. There's this co-op action game that lets you drive an oil tanker. In one of the missions, you should have seen the look on my friends' faces when I made those tight turns. I assume you mean a truck pulling an oil tanker. That's cool. You can do that in this game too, by the way. Yes, Captain Minnesota, I did pick up, well, maybe you're not telling me, I did pick up on the fact that you changed your name from XLT 588 Gaming to Captain Minnesota. Let's see. Yes, Adam, I've seen a lot of accidents with trucks, but they're almost always caused by car drivers. Sometimes because the car drivers will brake check a truck and the trucks can't stop in time and they slam right into the back of the car. That's a crime. So, and that car driver should and will be arrested and charged. Almost 3 years for good old XLT 588 Gaming. Yeah, 2 more months. Let's see. 38 viewers, 17 likes. Yeah. Are you not entertained? Hit that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, do that now. Oh, let's see. 20 now and 43 watching. Nice. Chris Sachi, are you going to play Road Kings when it comes out? Probably not. I don't know what that is. I think I've heard that, but not likely. I'm pretty devoted. Oh, I guess I have seen that. Yeah, it's a competitor to American Truck Sim. I'm pretty locked into American SCS stuff. American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator. Okay, John, that's good. Rack up those hardcore points. Yeah, are you going to continue working on the challenge? I think you've done 1 or 2. And then get off into other things. I was going to ask you that. Matthew, you're driving Peterbilt and ATS. Yes, I am. Brake checking a truck is just dumb. Yes, but there are stupid people in the world behind the wheel of cars, and they get angry sometimes that a truck is going slow. So they may cut over in front of them and hit their brakes or tap their brakes. That's a dangerous situation. You can get someone killed, and it could be the person driving the car that does the brake check. Let's see. Boomer would doing NASCAR. Wait, didn't I already read that? Did you post that twice, or did I miss it? Oh, you did post it twice. And I did respond. The Road Kings are like ATS from the devs of SnowRunner and Roadcraft. Okay. I might check out World Trucks Australia and see how I like it. I would like to check that out, actually, whenever it comes out. I did put that on my wish list for Steam. Right, 2 legs in on the challenge. I did see that, but then I didn't see any more. Looks like you've been running in and around Texas or something. Anyway, okay, I'm caught up. Back to the driving. Whoa! Don't do that on a curve, I guess. Lots of four-wheelers like to try to sneak around the blind side to make a right turn. Right, or just pass you on the right. I told a story recently about that happening to me here locally in Las Vegas, because I drove locally for a while, and I was driving, taking a trailer to an apartment complex, either delivering something or picking something up. I don't know. I was just dropping it there. But anyway, it was already dark because it was late in the day. And it was just about maybe less than a mile from where I am right now on Boulder Highway. And, you know, our major thoroughfares out here have multiple lanes. In fact, Boulder Highway has 3 and a big shoulder. Well, I was in the right of 3 lanes. And I was looking for this place. I knew where it was, but I was looking for where to turn in. And there were 2 guys from the apartment complex that were there to help guide me into where I needed to put the trailer. And so they were, you know, guiding me into the correct, I think I was on the phone with a guy. They were guiding me into the correct entrance to this place. And just as I was about to turn right into this place, 2 cars passed me on the right on the shoulder, almost hitting at least one of those guys that were trying to guide me in. Like, 3 lanes aren't enough? You gotta pass on the right? Yeah, I almost turned, or was in the process of about to turn, when they went zipping by. Scared the heck out of me, and all I could think about was if I'd have turned a second sooner, I would have hit the first one would have hit me, and the second one would have plowed into him. And one or both of the guys that were out there on the side of the road to guide me in would have been probably taken out. I mean, people are just stupid when they get impatient. And I've been guilty of that in the past. When I was in my 20s. But yeah, it's crazy. Nicholas says, I might start the challenge when I get home tomorrow. Try to get an earlier start than I did in the ETS2 challenge. Yeah. And I drug my feet on the Euro Truck challenge. I had other things going on. It's the Euro Truck challenge, which we allowed 3 months to complete. It's a lot of driving, a lot of long drives, a lot of long legs. Yeah, Adam, you're right. Those dash cams in the windshield, and I had one, they're for self-defense. Because people do stupid things and you want to get them on camera. Because some people do it either because they don't care and they're just going to try to sue you or the trucking company. And there are predatory lawyers out there that specialize in that. What do you think of a dash cam as a early Christmas present? You want to send me one? Is that what you're saying? I don't need one. I have it. I have one in my car. Thank you. I think if someone doesn't have a dash cam, they need one. Some of the best crazy videos of car drivers are from Russians with dash cams. I've seen some of the craziest stuff from dash cams from car drivers in Russia. Any advice for car drivers who want to overtake a truck? Or is it always a bad idea? It's not a bad idea, but do it safely. It's like these cars here. Pass on the left, never on the right. Now, on an interstate scenario like this, or a motorway, trucks should always be in the right lane unless they're passing another vehicle. But if you're on a city street or a rural road and a truck driver moves to the left and they got their right turn signal on, never pass them on the right, ever. There's a good chance you're going to wind up wedged underneath that trailer because the truck's going to turn. Don't do it. Looks like John's seen those Russian dash cam videos. So the correct kind of dash cam is the kind with a good sized memory card on it that records continuously. Usually it records with a file length of 3 minutes. At least mine did. And you may be able to actually change those. But it'll record those in whatever time segments you set up. And that way you can pull a specific video file from your dash cam memory stick. Many cars do not see the yellow warning sign on the right hand side of the trailer. Yeah, people don't care. They're not paying attention. What do you think is the biggest health challenge most truckers face? How have you personally dealt with this? Well, I didn't deal with it very well. The biggest challenge is it's a sedentary lifestyle. It's like working in an office, except in an office environment, which I've also worked in. You can get up and move around more easily in an office. As a truck driver, you are sitting all the time, except when you stop to take a break. And one of the ways that I saw a lot of other drivers deal with this is at the end of the day, or even during their midday break, if we get out and walk around the truck stop, sometimes multiple times, and they would get their steps in. So I failed to do that. Every time at the end of the day, I'd get parked and I'd see one of these guys walking around, and I'm like, I should do that. And then I'd go back to what I was doing, which was not walking, it was sitting. And that's not good. That's what I do now. I sit all the time. I need to get out and walk more, I keep telling myself. Now, one time, you know, there is a time that truckers are a little bit active, and that's when they're switching trailers or they're getting loaded. They're not doing the loading, but they have to get out, open their doors, and then when they get backed into a dock, they walk to the shipping office and then repeat that process in reverse when they're done. This is the Columbia River in eastern Washington. I actually have video of this drive somewhere in my library of real life trucking videos. And it looks an awful lot like this, except I did it when it was getting late in the day. Like I'm falling behind on chat again. So, Nicholas, I don't understand that. How do you not know how to use the dash cam? Because it's not like you interact with it. You plug it in at the beginning of your day. If it, if your power port has power all the time, plug it in at the beginning of the day, and you unplug it at the end of the day. There's nothing else to do, as far as I know, other than the initial setup. In addition to the dash cam that I had, and over the years, I cycled through a few different ones. But I also had a GoPro camera mounted next to the dash cam, in the center of the screen, the windshield, up at the top of the windshield, top center. But that was only on when I actually turned it on. I didn't use it as a dash cam. I used it to record my drives. I haven't been this way in the game in quite a while. Ooh. What is your deal, tanker? Little maneuver right there. I learned to do that when I lived in Germany. Learned it by watching other people do it. I never learned that in the US or in driving school. At least I don't recall learning it. Okay, this guy is a bit of a menace. Probably not intentionally so, but he is a menace. Maybe I get caught up on these. Mikey, I don't want to suggest that you should be limited to what kind of content you put on your channel. That's really up to you at the end of the day. But just understand that a successful YouTube channel, or even Twitch, generally niche down and focus on one type of content. In my case, it's all trucking related, both real life and virtual. Now, for those of you who might be relatively new to my channel, you may not know that this is my home state. I don't live here now, but I grew up until the age of 17. I lived in Washington State, Western Washington. I grew up mostly in the Seattle area, Seattle and suburbs. So I have a lot of memories from this area. And of course, I drove through here as a trucker several times too. So this feels like for me, this feels like coming home. Even though I haven't lived here in 40 years. Yeah, Nicholas, that was my problem. I enjoyed watching other people walk. Oh, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I had to do that. Tyler, bro. See, you posted something and then deleted it. Is there a morning break before starting the day on the road? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, your day doesn't start till your day starts. You get breakfast and everything else out of the way before you start your day. Breakfast and coffee, that is. But you don't do that on the clock. You do that before you start your day. Oh, there's only 2 days left for the Cruising Iowa event. Okay. Alright, we're gonna go across the Evergreen Point floating bridge. Now, this bridge in reality is much longer. But it literally is built and supported by concrete pontoons underneath. There are 2 bridges like this, or there were. Maybe there's 3 now, I don't know. You're welcome, Mikey. And thank you. Okay, pilot. Well, glad to see that you dropped in. I know you're working. And I assume you're in the office today? Which I know you're hating. drive running. You know, I used to, when I was much younger, I like when I was in the military, I ran a lot. And there were a lot of times that I missed it. And yeah, I should have before I started carrying a spare tire. Now I'm carrying what seems like a couple of spare truck tires. Yeah, it sneaks up on you if you don't stay on top of it. And if you're someone like me that loves to eat that fried chicken, it's even harder. In fact, I'm craving fried chicken right now, just talking about it. I haven't had it in a while. Clippy. Jeremy Smith is here. Welcome to the stream, Jeremy. All right, I'm going to take the opportunity to catch up on chat. I'm not even. Oh, jeez. Never a red light when you need one. Turn red, turn red, turn red. I want to catch up on chat, do some shout outs. Oh, we're right here. See, this is what I meant by swinging wide to the left. And you got to watch that mirror for stupid drivers try to pass you on the right here. Because they will do it, especially young people. Young and impatient. I used to be one of them and I survived. Welcome, Jeremy. If I didn't already say that, I thought I did. Dash cam mount falls off and they leave it laying on the dash. Isn't it just a suction cup thing? I mean, it's not complicated. Or they have no idea how to download videos from it. I've seen videos from coworkers who record the dash cam screen with their phone. Oh, that would drive me nuts. It's like people who take screenshots of their monitor with their phone. Or, you know, they take pictures of their monitor with their phone, thinking that that's a screenshot. And I get it. A lot of people don't really know what that means, and I used to be one of them. I don't know that I ever took a picture with my of my monitor with my phone. Actually, I did because I had to text it to somebody. All right, how far have we driven? 1,189 miles. Okay, let me get caught up on the chat here. So Nicholas says, I got my dash cam always connected 24/7. This new truck will cut power to it if the battery gets drained. Cool. Mine, I had it plugged into a, I don't know if I had it plugged into a power port that would cut off when I turned off the ignition or if I actually had to unplug it from the power port. But it was just part of my routine. At the beginning of the day, I'd make sure it was running, and at the end of the day, I'd make sure it wasn't. I still have that dash cam, and it's in my car, and it does have the option. I don't have it plugged into a power port that's always on though, but it has an option so that it would normally turn off, but then if somebody like walks in front, it doesn't turn off, but it stops recording. If someone walks in front of your car and it detects them, it'll start recording for a brief period of time. I've never used that feature. Uh, let's see. Ooh, a rotator cuff sprain. Yikes. Yeah, getting old is something. Oh, man. Adam, I do not have a place or home in Washington to go back to. Um, None of my immediate family still lives in Washington. We always moved around a lot. When I was when I was young, we moved around a lot in Washington because my grandfather, who we lived with, my grandparents, my mother, my sisters, and I lived with my our grandparents. And my grandfather, until he retired, he worked for the state Department of Transportation. He was involved in the construction of the interstate highway system, Interstate 5, Interstate 405, things like that. And so he would move, depending on what area they were working on, he would move to the local area. So when I was really little, they lived way up in Mount Vernon. Um, and then even before that, when my mother was a teenager, they lived way down south, right along Interstate 5 in Castle Rock. And then they lived in the Tacoma. They were all over the I-5 corridor. So, but no, my grandparents, of course, all passed away. Um, my mother and all my sisters, well, except for one sister, we all moved away from Washington for various reasons. We have one of my sisters still lives in Washington, but they live in Eastern Washington. So she's been there for all this time, 45 years, I think, one place. Me, before I lived here in Las Vegas this time, well, Southern Nevada this time, first time I've ever lived in Las Vegas. But before I moved here like 12 and a half years ago, the longest I'd ever lived in one place was 6 years. That was only once. Most of the time, 1, 2, 3 years tops. Some of that was because I was in the military and I moved around a lot in the military. Um, Life. So, what's my favorite state to drive in? Most of them. I don't really have a favorite necessarily. I have some that I don't like driving in, like New Jersey, just because of the crazy traffic there. Um, Connecticut, kind of a pain. Rhode Island, same thing. Beautiful areas, but they're so congested. So mostly it's about areas. Where did I like to drive? Maine. I love driving in Maine. Beautiful scenery up there. So, let me catch up on here. No Swifties yet. No Swifties. Not gonna get one today. Sure, semis have room for a couple of spare tires. No room underneath the cab. Actually, I had a for one lot of drivers have a spare tire for their trailer on the back of the cab. Um, I did for a time when I was a company driver. Right back there had a spare tire. A lot of places do, and now we're talking real spare tires, not the one around my middle. Also on this underneath on the side of the trailer, there's a place. In some trailers have a rack for mounting a spare tire. Now it's just a tire. It's not a, excuse me. Doesn't have the rim or anything. Typically, that's just so. If someone has to come out, service truck has to come out and replace your tire, you've got one that they can use. Companies do that. In fact, what a lot of companies will do, I think I messed this up. Let's see if I can make this turn. They'll take steer tires or even drive tires. Once they've worn down to where they're no longer legal to use on a truck, they'll use them as spares because you can run a trailer tire down to even less tread depth, and they'll use them as spares and they'll run them out on a trailer. And so that's typically what a lot of truck drivers have, either on the back of their cab, behind their cab, or back on the trailer somewhere. Tires are expensive. Steamboat Slough Bridge. Oh yeah. So let me get back to chat here. What happened to my chat? There it is. Wow, that's weird. It disappeared. Okay. He's had a couple of close calls though while trying to read chat. That's true. One of the E-taps in the challenge. I was hit by an AI truck when I parked in a truck. Really? In a truck stop? I mean, I've seen that happen. It happened to me once in real life, but I don't know that I've ever had it happen in the game, or did I? Okay, maybe it did. Don wants fried chicken too now. Nice. Nicholas, gotten used to seeing Utah behind you wherever you go yet? Oh, gotten used to not seeing Utah behind you. Not sure what you mean by that, Nicholas. Oh, oh, right. The photo that we used to have on the side of our trailers. Yeah. I might need more coffee. Yeah, Nicholas, I used to run my dash cam at night too. It had night vision. Or a sensitive thing, anyway. 752 hardcore points, delivery rating. I hope that's a 4 and not a -4. There are a lot of good loads coming out of New Jersey and the New York City area. I'll take your word for that. Susan is here. Susan, I have not been ignoring you. I wanted to get together. I don't know when we'll be able to, but I want to get together and talk about your custom skin design. Do you check the freight rates per load for any distance in your area? I don't now. I have no desire, no need to do that. It requires, to get on a load board, you require load board apps. Some of them are not free. So no. And even when I was driving, I didn't use those generic load boards. I used the company provided load board. So even though I was not a company driver, I used my book loads off of the company's load board. So I still have some shout outs to do. And by the way, if you're fairly new and you don't know why I'm shouting out people's names, it's because they are channel members that are supporting the channel and reefer hauler or flatbedder level. If you'd like to help support what I'm doing here, you click that join button and look at the different levels and see what makes sense to you. But reefer hauler and flatbedders do get their names shouted out during most live streams. Semper Bufo, Stiggy Stigs, 122. I feel like I'm losing my voice today. Ken Maselman, VXN, Dayan B Travels, Marcus Randolph, Avnish Awashti, Walter D, Hippie, Talk About It, Peter Evans, Luke Rossi, Bjarn Vidar Itri, Wise Mind Facts, Emax06, Olivia Brown, Ibu Bibbin, Wiz Nation, our top ATS driver for July 2025. Japsai 0585, Mystical World, Krutov 666, Grim Reaper, Red Tiger, Daza T Arab, JBM Gaming and Auto Dips, Edmund Bouchard. By the way, tomorrow we've got the members live stream that starts at the same time this one does, and then I'll come back to that in a second. And then in the evening, we will have the winners convoy for the Euro Challenge. So we'll be convoying in Euro Truck Simulator. I will be convoying with the winners of the All Europe Challenge in Euro Truck Simulator. As far as the members tomorrow, I don't have a plan for what I'm going to do. If you have some thoughts, if you are a member, if you have some thoughts of what you'd like to see me do tomorrow, I'm not doing cartwheels or anything like that. But otherwise, let me know in the chat or in the Discord, in the VIP area. Let me know. Silent Cartographer, Truck Dog Gaming, Sick of It All, Arena Max, John Whitesall, our top ATS driver for August 2025. Tim, One Last Midnight, Frenzy, JRA, or Junior A, Circus 34, Assassin's King 33, Amanda Diaz, 2003, Chris Ellis. No, I struggled with that. Wheelie Awesome 100 and Bitterman. So if you have some thoughts on what you'd like to see during the members stream tomorrow, if you are a member, drop a note. Adam says saw $1,000 for a 130-mile run. I think that is good. That is good, depending on what it is. Maybe it's a heavy haul overload or something like that, and it may not be enough. Or it may be hazmat. So, I mean, $1,000 for 130 miles is pretty good money. But what is it? That's the real question. Do you have the ratings for it? Matthew, do ATS for member live stream tomorrow? Okay, I mean, I can do that. But Matthew, you do not have a membership. I can see just by looking at your name. So, I've got an idea. Good to see you do some oversized loads such as the turbine blade. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, lowrider. See you next week, unless you're here tomorrow in the evening. Of course, evening for me is the middle of the night for you. So it's a reefer load, Adam. Could be medical supplies. It's probably something that's very time sensitive. Nicholas has gifted a membership, and the lucky recipient is Hot Rod 25. Congratulations to Hot Rod 25, and thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, Thomas. All right, yes, I am going to wrap it up here. So thank you for riding along. Let me actually go take a look at the this thing. Yeah. See you next time. All right, Adam. And of course, I'll be looking for your photo, your screenshots that you post in Discord. Those are interesting. A little dark. You know, you can change the lighting when you go into photo mode. So don't forget that. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today. We've got some stuff going on in the Discord. Not driving necessarily. We will be driving again tomorrow. So see you then. Thanks.